So 2 minus x to the fourth is perfect. I have to find du and making sure that it's right there with minor changes in the number, not more.
Negative 4x to the third.
Negative 4x to the third. Don't forget something very important. Dx. Is it there? Of course it is. Look here. This is a poor constant. Not a problem. Multiply by negative 4 and divide by negative 4. Nobody changed anything. So now I have negative 1 over 4. Do not copy the limits of integration, and we'll get to that in a moment. Tell me how you replace all this in terms of u. Great job. Let's start with the denominator. What will the denominator be replaced by?
U to the 7th.
Of course.
Would be du in the numerator.
It will be du in the numerator, and it's done. Because negative 4 is here, x to the third is here, dx is here. So all this gets replaced by du. All this gets replaced by u to the 7th. And the poor number stays outside. Now we cannot continue. I need this and I need this. The lower limit is obtained, for u, is obtained when x is negative 1. So let's plug it in and see what we get. So u equals 2. Negative 1 to the fourth is still 1. So minus 1, that will be 1. So this will be the lower limit. When I plug in 0 here, what is the upper limit? Maybe you said it, but I didn't hear it.
2.
That's it. Done. So now I continue. Negative 1/4. Yes, I will change this into u to negative 7 du, because that's easier. I will have negative 1/4, as we have done in this entire chapter, negative 7 plus 1 over that particular number from 1 to 2. We do not go back. We change the limits of integration. We don't need x anymore. The answer can be obtained equally easy. Okay, but I have to adjust this. So this is 1 over 24, u to negative 6, or u to the 6th power from 1 to 2. Please leave the constant outside. Do not bother with it. And write 1 over, plug in 2, 2 to the 6th minus when we plug in 1, and that's 1. Always leave the constant outside. It's always easier. And now final answer. I think I'm on 9, yes. From here, oops. 1 over 24. 2 to the 5th, so this is 64 minus 1, because 2 to the 5th is 32 minus 1. So 1 over 24, this needs a 64. 1 minus 64 will be negative 63 over 64. Ugly number, but I can simplify by 3. So negative 21 divided by 2 is 512, I believe. Correct my numbers if there is any error. Let me know right away. That was 58. So let's take a look at the other one that you chose was 53. Let's take a look at 53. Any questions? After this problem or these problems, do you feel a little bit better about the substitution rule? Even a notch better? A tiny bit better? Good. So let's copy 53. Very good. So this is the integral from 0 to b, m e to negative mx dx. We're getting fancy now. That's good. So let u be. And you tell me what you would like u to be. just this. So negative mx, as long as du can be obtained and it's right there under in the integral. So, can anyone give us du?
Negative m dx.
Of course. Thank you very much. Awesome, Amanda. Thank you. Good. So, I don't have to do anything. The x is here, m is here. I just need to multiply by negative 1 twice. Not a problem. So this is this, and this is e to u. Nice. Negative in front, and now tell me, do not copy the limits of integration. These are the limits of integration for x. We will determine new limits of integration for u. So tell me the integral. What is it out of or on? What do you think?
E to the u du.
That's it. That's it. So now, let's plug in 0 and determine the lower limit for u.
0.
Of course. Let's plug in b and determine the upper limit for u.
Negative mb.
That's it. We are not looking back. Not in a definite integral. No, no, no. E to u from 0 to negative mb. We keep that constant outside. When I plug in negative mb, is u to negative mb minus, when I plug in 0, what do I get? That's it. Done. If you want to distribute, you can, and you can reverse it if you want not to start with a negative number. It doesn't matter. That's it. And this is a number. We're not going back. Can we look at a word problem? Let's look at number 90. Please practice with these problems. If you work on these problems first, you will have 0 difficulties, I promise you. Divorce rate. 90 on page 423. And we'll stop after this one. Any questions for me, please? The divorce rate in the United States is approximated by, and they're giving us D of t equals 3.95 times e raised to negative 0.021 t, where D of t is the number of divorces per 1,000 people. Number per 1,000 people. Okay? T years after year 2000. So t equals 0. This is my notes. This is what I have to write on the side so I don't forget what this means. Okay. Find the total number of divorces per 1,000 people in the U.S. from the year 2000 to 2008. Note that this is given by, so in part A, the integral from 0 to 8 from d of t dt, okay, from 0 to 8 from, that constant can go outside, I will move it in a minute, e to negative 0.021 t dt. This has no place here. Out, it's a constant, it's a factor. Okay. We learned substitution. We're going to let u to be. Any suggestions? Anyone?
Negative the exponent, basically.
Exactly. So du negative 0.021 times t prime is 1, but I have to have dt because I'm really looking for du. Not a problem. So this is basically du, but I have to have this number in front. No problems. I cannot put it in here. I would love to put it in here, but I have to put it in front of the function. So negative 0.021, and I divide by negative 0.021 because this is 1. So then I will take my calculator and just divide these two. 3.95 divided by 0.021. I got 188. I think I'm going to keep it as is because I don't want an approximation. So sorry. I thought it was much nicer, but I should have known better. Good. Do not copy the limits of integration. Not yet. But tell me what we have to write. What is this going to be replaced by? Everything has to be replaced by something.
E to U, dt, or du, sorry.
Exactly. So now please plug in 0 and tell me what is the limit of integration, the lower limit for u. Perfect. The other one I have to do, I don't need a calculator. It's negative 0.168. So 8 times 1, 8 times 2, and that's it. Good. Keep that number in front. Negative 3.95 over 0.021 times e to u from 0 to negative 0.168. We plug in the top and subtract what we plug in with a result that we get from when we plug in the denominator. So negative 3.95 over 0.021, leave it alone. E to that power, 168, minus, when I plug in 1, I'm sorry, when I plug in 0, I get 1, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. So now I have to approximate all this. Careful how you enter it in the graphing calculator. So I'm going to share my screen just to make sure that this is clear how to enter it. I'm sure you do know this, but let me show it. So negative 3.95 over that should be in parentheses. Sorry, guys. Okay. I didn't mean that. I want to quit that. Okay. So, left parenthesis. We start with a small negative, 3.95 divided by 0.021. Close the parenthesis, open another one, E, you know me, I have to have parentheses everywhere, 0.168, close the parenthesis for the power, because I don't know what calculator you have, so it's some of them you have to enter with parentheses. That's another reason. And then press enter. So 29.08. So 29.10. So roughly, so let me stop sharing. So the answer is approximately 30 people per 1,000. Do I have time for the last part? Yes, I have 1 more minute. Okay, find the total number of divorces in the United States between 2008 and 2016. So the other one, part B. In part B, from 8 to 16, from d of t dt, which will be the integral from 8 to 16, from that's 3.95 e to negative 0.021 t dt. So we have the integral from 0 to 8, and we want to determine now the integral from 8 to 16. So the limits of integration will change, but I don't want to hold you. Can you do this for next time, or I will continue on Monday, just finish this up, and this is the last thing we need to do in chapter 4. Because I don't want to hold you over. I don't think it's